Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So guys, I recently just got this in my email from BITRUE. In the past week, we've seen a huge increase in our customers' interest towards XRP. So we wanted to share a few interesting pieces of data with you. So here they're giving the notion value of open interest in XRP. And as you guys can see, just over the last couple of days, we have seen that increase since mid-October. We have seen that number increase. Right now in our future services, BITRUE users are holding over $321 million in USDT of XRP, and our data shows that 91% of users are long on this asset. You can check this graph below. So you can see the short to long ratio in yellow here. The short account, guys, very minimal compared to the long account, which is in green. So short account, I guess I should say, is in red, and that is the short to long ratio. As a result of all this increased interest, XRP to USDT has become the fastest growing trading pair in futures this week. If you're holding this asset or planning to soon, please pay attention to the risks and properly manage your assets. So this coming from the BITRUE exchange, it is the exclusive crypto exchange that I'm using to trade my cryptocurrencies, my altcoins, for my patrons for the $10,000 plus portfolio at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. It is only $5 a month for those of you guys interested in seeing when I'm trading. I'm going to be talking about my targets and paying attention to certain coins to see if they moon prematurely. That's going to be a good thing because we can pocket some profits before the rest of the market really booms. As you guys have probably noticed, the market is moving quite a bit. Let me look at the altcoin market. Let me bring up the total 2 right now. Even total 2, despite the fact that Bitcoin is really the leader of the market, the total 2, which is all of altcoins since, let's call it since last week, is up about 11, 12%, 13%, let's call it. Market is really moving. We're seeing even on the BITRUE exchange specifically, and I'm sure this extends to many other different exchanges. XRP interest is also very, very high. So that's an interesting piece of news that I think we should at least keep under our hat and could in fact use for trading later on. DJ Peter Vaz posting this, okay, Sum has issued a critical warning for XRP users on the latest Samsung update. So I don't know how many of you guys use Samsung phones who use the Sum wallet, XRP wallet. Sum issues an important warning to its users. Apparently there is, it looks like, some malware. XRP wallet Sum has issued a critical warning to its users as bad actors continuously devise new means of preying on unsuspecting investors. The XRP ledger-based Sum has notified its users to a fake Sum plugin currently available in the Chrome web store. So guys, be careful. When you hear of these hacks, these for example, when that person came out and said, oh, my crypto's gone from my ledger. Okay, it's not ledger that's the problem. It is downloading these bad acting apps that sometimes these these hackers create, and they somehow get them on the Chrome web store. You download them thinking they are legitimate official apps from whatever companies these are, and then you click on them, and then your cryptocurrency gets stolen. So make sure you do have your crypto safe, guys. I know Ledger just sent me this promotion. It is only available for 2 weeks, and it's ending at the end of October. You can save 30% off Bitcoin Orange Ledger Nano S Plus product. So 35% off. You guys can use my affiliate link in the description of the video if you want to. You don't have to use the link though. If you still don't have a cold storage solution though, I urge that you get one, guys, very, very soon, because the market is getting hot and you don't want your $10,000 investment. I'm just throwing a number out there, by the way, your $10,000 investment that could go to $100,000, $200,000 to be vulnerable to attacks. So, this is why I always urge people, get a cold storage solution. Now we're seeing the same kind of problems here with the Sum app. Sum reiterates the fact that it does not offer a browser plugin, nor does it intend to offer one in the future. Warning, they're saying there's a fake Sum plugin. Oh yeah, okay, so this is just the original notice here. It asks you to enter your secrets and steal all your funds. We do not offer a browser plugin. We will never offer a browser plugin. We keep your funds safe and encrypted on your own phone. So they will never ask you for any code words or anything like that, guys. If any of these apps do ask you for passwords, code words, delete it immediately, because that is a telltale sign that these guys are hackers and scammers. Just be careful out there, guys. Keep your cryptocurrency safe. And yeah, you can find my affiliate link in the description of the video for the Ledger shop. They have all kinds of products available for you. Wanted to keep moving along. ISO 20022, let's do it here. Posted this. Ripple Partners, Standard Chartered, and Deutsche Bank. So 2 Ripple partners here. Blockchain network to send messages on a permissioned blockchain. They've started this new initiative to execute stablecoin payments via the UDPN blockchain. So both Ripple partners, Standard Chartered and Deutsche Bank, said they completed the first proof of concept for the Universal Digital Payments Network, the UDPN, and it aims to connect payments across various CBDCs and blockchain networks using messages similar to SWIFT. Unlike SWIFT, though, institutional exchange messages via a permissioned blockchain. The UDPN was founded by Red Date Technology, the co-founder of the Chinese blockchain-based service networks, and it has been developing UDPN in conjunction with consultancy GFT, and DLA Piper's digital asset initiative, Toko, is also involved. So some other players involved in this. Check this out down here, though. Today, interoperability between stablecoins is mainly enabled through centralized crypto exchanges. Given the lack of exchange oversight and regulation, that's not a viable solution for the interoperability of CBDC and deposit tokens. Plus, mainstream adoption of digital currency requires enforcement to know your customer. So looking at all the rules that they have to take into consideration, the global rules for crypto and exchanges, they're making this product interoperable. Of course, we need to know, they need to know that, and their clients need to know that they can transfer money over any blockchain and not just, one proprietary software technology. The SC Ventures Deutsche Bank trial. So this is quite similar to a recent one that was completed during the trial. Standard Chartered's SC Ventures made several real-time transfers and swaps of synthetic USDC and EURs, or status euro stablecoin, to Deutsche Bank wallets and vice versa, while SC Ventures used code leveraging, UDPN, SDKs, and APIs. Deutsche Bank used a graphical user interface. So just talking a little bit about the tech there. But these guys, two Ripple partners, also working on a network. They make a big point here to say this is going to be an interoperable blockchain solution. And I think we can probably guess about a dozen reasons why that is. So wanted to thank ISO 20022, Let's Do It, just for posting that. The other piece of news that I wanted to note here was this. James K. Filan broke this news just yesterday. Judge Torres has finally, so this is official, she finally has ordered the official dismissing case against Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsen. So this is it here. It is now stipulated and agreed upon. So it is official, guys, but there are some things to consider here. Fred Rispoli with a keen eye, XRP community, he writes, the signed order from Judge Torres just came in granting a stipulation of dismissal, and that all sounds fine and good on the surface. But listen to what Fred has to say here. In reading the original stipulation, I failed to notice the parties only agreed to dismiss Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsen from the institutional sales claim only. As the judge ruled in Ripple's favor on programmatic sales and other distributions, the claims against Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsen for those two categories automatically died at that point, but could theoretically be revived if the SEC appeals and wins and overturned PS and OD XRP transactions. And if the SEC totally wins on appeal, it can't later sue Brad and Chris on institutional sales because this dismissal is with prejudice, which means never, ever, ever can Brad and Chris be sued on the institutional sales theory. So now he questions, okay, was it sloppy drafting in the dismissal to only include institutional sales in the dismissal? But then he says, I doubt it. I think this is more proof the SEC is going to, as Water T would say, crunch the numbers and wrap this one up for good. So an interesting observation here from Fred Rispoli. Wen Moon just asking, not sure that I understand what you were trying to say or point that you were trying to make. And Fred Rispoli just clarifying this. So the point, if I were Brad and Chris, I would have demanded dismissal of all the claims, not limited to institutional sales only. So that is what the draft actually said here. If you guys were to read this, I will link this in the description of the video for you. That is what the draft says. If the SEC appeals and overturns ruling on other sales, SEC can still sue Brad and Chris on those two other categories. So they're not technically in the clear. They're not technically out of the woods yet. And Sherry here just agrees to this. So this is just Sherry's comment to Fred Rispoli's tweet. Agreed. I'm of the belief that the only reason the SEC filed the interlocutory appeal is because they didn't agree with Torres. Is there really a reason to settle with a 50% win when they could have already gone with that while discussing the dismissal? RDS down here saying, exactly, that's what I was thinking. If the SEC wanted to settle this soon, they were better off using the dismissal as part of a settlement to increase the settlement amount. After giving the dismissal for free is like Ripple only has a 50% incentive to settle now. Unless the SEC wanted to remove its financial burden of preparing for trial while negotiating, and this way also showing that Ripple does not have a sort of embarrassing trial hanging over the SEC's head anymore. And Sherry mentioning down here, your logic mirrors my own. So an interesting perspective here. Could it be a tactic that, will give the SEC or could give the SEC some more life in this case? Regardless, we have to look at the facts, guys. We have to look at the dates. Jack the Rippler posting this. A letter sent by the SEC to Judge Torres also hinted that a potential settlement could happen by November the 9th. So will we see this finally wrapped up by November the 9th? XRP price has been making its way up. Of course, along with this, Ripple is expected to see some positive developments come in November, which could also include the conclusion of the SEC Ripple lawsuit saga that has gone on for the better part of 3 years. And then it gives just a little bit of information here. While there's no confirmation from either entity, enthusiasts expect this meeting to result in a settlement of the lawsuit. Jeremy Hogan gave his assessment, which I will link the video I did talking about Jeremy Hogan's assessment up here in the top right-hand corner. The other thing, though, that I think we should be paying attention to is this, when it was stated that Judge Torres was going to clear Brad and Chris, and now we finally got that official statement there. The SEC took another hit after its appeal of the decision was later denied by Judge Torres. Then last Thursday, the case against Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and co-founder Chris Larson was dismissed with prejudice. And then this here too, November 9th is now the most important date for investors. That is when the regulators intend to meet and confer with Ripple, according to a letter sent by the SEC to Judge Torres. So now all eyes are on November the 9th. It's interesting to note that particular timeline because Brett Hill posted this. It is quite amusing how the conclusion of the case may coincide with November 9th. I mean, we don't know. It's still just a date that they are going to possibly settle by, and then we get a verdict shortly thereafter. Right after the launch of the new system on November the 20th, I am confident in XRP and Ripple's thorough preparation for this significant milestone and their ability to successfully execute it. He's posting this, okay, the integration, release date, implementation, all things are happening basically 2 weeks after that November 9th date. So if they finally get a resolution, if they finally can come to a conclusion, then XRP utility can be fully flushed out in the United States. I mean, globally, that's not a problem. It's the US. That's the missing piece of the puzzle here. And notice, American institutions like JPM, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citibank, there's so many on here. Even FedNow is on here listed too for a November 2023 implementation. So are we hopefully going to see a settlement by November the 9th? It's all very interesting, guys. John Deaton has also come out and said this one courtesy of Michael Branch on Twitter. Deaton says the SEC losing on appeal against Ripple could set a precedent for crypto firms. So are they willing to set that precedent and lose leverage? Now, in my opinion, Ripple is even in a stronger position than they were before. Notably, the crypto community has been speculating on the SEC's next move, and many crypto enthusiasts believe that the move sets the tone for a potential settlement or a faster appeal. Most commentators speculate that the SEC dropped the charges to file an appeal against Ripple's victory immediately. Consequently, prominent XRP holder Andrew Spereza asked crypto law founder John Deaton whether the SEC would set a precedent for the broader crypto industry if it loses on appeal, and John Deaton did respond here. He noted that the SEC losing on appeal would set a precedent that could weaken the regulator, while emboldening crypto-related companies to fight more against the Commission's adverse enforcement actions. Per John Deaton, Annalisa Torres already clarified that her ruling in the case is based on the application of the Howey test to the relevant facts. As a result, John Deaton said that if the SEC loses on appeal, it can easily argue that the verdict applies only to Ripple and XRP, as no other crypto projects have similar facts. So that is John Deaton's analysis on this, but that's not to say that the precedent cannot be taken and applied to other aspects of crypto cases. I mean, we've already seen it. We've already seen Coinbase and I believe Library took some parts of the verdict from the Ripple lawsuit and tried to apply it to their particular lawsuits. Guys, we may have won the battle, but the war still wages on. I mean, the market isn't really reflecting that. One last thing I wanted to mention here, CHIPS ISO 20022 implementation. Again, this timeline from November 2023 to April 2024. This one courtesy of Mr. Man here on Twitter. Notice this, guys, from the Clearinghouse website. This was from back in February. TCH reschedules CHIPS ISO 20022 implementation to April 2024. The window here is very interesting. November 23 to April 24, and they're saying, testing availability for vendors on the Fin Plus ITB future services from May 6, 2023. The translation portal will be updated in June, and then we have a July update. These have all passed now. But guys, the final implementation, November 2023, coming around the corner up until April 2024. And again, I got to wonder, have they purposely coincided this with the Bitcoin halving. You got to think to yourself, when there's more liquidity in the market, this is just going to be more beneficial for everybody, the real world utility and us crypto speculators. So let's make sure our bags are packed before that final run up. That's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.